These are going to be the best features of the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE 5G. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing is going to be IP68 dust and water resistance. So you could submerge this phone up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. So if you're very clumsy with your phone or you want to take it out for the beach or the pool, this is going to be a great phone and you won't ruin it. Next is the 120 Hertz refresh rate. So that's the highest you'll typically get. That is a flagship feature. It has to be super smooth. Just to compare, the regular iPhone has, or the iPhone 13, for example, that has 60 Hertz. You have to get an iPhone Pro to get more refresh rate. Next, this phone has an always on display. So you're gonna get some information when you're not actually touching the device or having to unlock it. You're gonna have some interaction with it. So that's not available on a lot of devices. Next great feature of the S21 FE is a Snapdragon 888 processor. So this is basically a flagship processor in a mid-range phone. It is the same processor found on the S21 flagship. So it's going to be very snappy for years to come. Next feature of the Galaxy S21 FE is going to be the software. Now it runs it's going to run Samsung software, Samsung UI software over Android 12, and it's going to get several years of updates. So it's going to get around 3 to 4 years of updates. So this phone, if you like to keep your phones for a while, this one will still feel fresh after a couple of years. Next great feature is the cameras. Both the front camera and the back cameras, they're going to be best in class. They're not going to be spec-wise as good as the S22 cameras or S21s, but for the normal person, average everyday person, these will work great in the daytime and at night. Samsung makes really good cameras, so you're pretty much getting near flagship quality. The front camera even shoots in 4K. Next, this phone, great feature is having NFC. Although it's a pretty common feature, it's not found on a lot of devices in the lower to mid-range price point, but it's just good to know that it's there, and I think it's an underrated feature. It's just a must having NFC. Next feature is under the display fingerprint reader. Now that's pretty much sets apart flagships and mid-range phones. Usually if you have an in-display fingerprint reader, that means that the phone is very expensive, but this phone has it, so you know it's going to be a flagship feature. Next great feature of the S21 FE is the pretty decent sized battery, 4,500 milliamps. Now it's not the biggest like the 5,000 milliamp battery found on a lot of other even budget phones, but it's just nice to know that this one's going to get you most of the day without having any battery issues. The S22, for example, that one has a 3,700 milliamp battery, so this one is actually better than a flagship device. The next great feature about the S21 FE has to do with charging. So this phone has fast charging, wireless charging, and reverse charging. So you pretty much have all the charging options available. You could charge your watch or your buds on the device. If you do need to charge up, you hook it up to your fast charger, get a lot of charge like that. And also, if you have wireless chargers laying around, it'll work with that as well. Budget phones don't have that. And the next, probably best feature about this phone that wraps it and ties it all together is the price point. So regular price on this phone is $700. It's only $100 less than the flagship, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is getting this phone at a $400 price point, basically half the price of a flagship S22 phone. And the only way you could get that, if you want this phone brand new without a contract, no strings attached basically, is going to get it on Boost. Now, yes, you do have to be on their network for around 12 months if you want to get it unlocked. After those 12 months, you can get it unlocked. But the beauty about it is like you're getting a flagship phone, half the price, no contract, and their plans are pretty good price-wise. You're going to be paying less overall than getting it on a postpaid carrier or even getting this fully unlocked, and boost runs on AT&T and T-Mobile, so you should be covered right there. And they got lower price plans too. So that's been my top features of the S21 FE. It's basically a flagship phone for half the price. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.